Okay. Hi, Rachel. Pleased to meet you. Hi, everyone. We're a bit early, so this is Daniel from South Asia, and here I have Rachel Brooke. Rachel Brooke is a lawyer. I know she actually did something before that through a mutual friend of mine, Simon. So Rachel, can you just explain what do you do, and also like because you'll be sharing about the HR situation with the restricted order actually.
Okay, hi guys, I'm Rachel. Nice to be online with you guys. This is my first time doing Facebook Live with so many people watching me. Today has been a very interesting day because I'm a IR/employment lawyer. So basically, I actually advise mainly on employment law. So today, since yesterday, last night, my phone has been blaring non-stop because of the RMO, restriction of movement order, which was announced at 10:30 p.m. What happens and what is the effect of the RMO? Basically stating that there will be minimal movement in terms of businesses, public places where people can go in order to reduce the infection rate of the COVID-19. Sorry, my colleague just came in. So, but there are exemptions. The exemptions are essential services. The list of essential services, I think you all have read the Kenyatta media. If you have not read the Kenyatta media, then you should, because these are all lists of essential services which are exempted from performing their day-to-day tasks, like post, communication, oil and gas, hospitals, and to add on to the list is sundries and food supply. So I've been getting calls from clientele stating like, am I an essential services? This and that. So yeah, essentially this is where we are at now. This is actually quite new. It hasn't been around, we have never experienced this before. The act was under the Preventive and Control of Infectious Disease Act 1988. So I guess since then, anything of this sort ever happened. And now that we are here, we have to do whatever it takes to ensure minimal contact or practice social distancing to allow us to reduce the infection rate.
So what is the biggest misconception about this whole restricted movement so far that have you seen?
Basically, people thought is the most importantly, I think everybody thought that you can still do certain business. Basically, it is actually a nationwide partial lockdown. You have to have minimum movement in and out of the country. Basically, private businesses who are not under the essential service cannot operate. And today, everybody is just calling and asking, am I considered? Well, ask yourself this, if your product is something that the people can live without, essentially you're not essential services.
Okay, but the one is also, I mean, it's quite subjective towards a field. Like, for example, there is actually, I think, hold on, let me check what's her name. There's someone from Malacca, actually, Stephanie, who's actually running a confinement service. Like she is not certain like whether that is like essential services. Like, how do you actually clarify whether certain things are essential services or not? Is there something online?
Actually, it's in the Kenyatta media by the Prime Minister himself. It's the list that he has mentioned. If you have actually gotten a hold of the Kenyatta media, you will realize that the list is actually pretty much finite. And if I could just hang on a second, if I could copy and paste this for you guys, this was this. And could I just copy and paste somewhere?
Yeah, you can actually paste it over the comment. If not, we can just send it to me later. I will paste it over.
So these are the lists that's stated in the Kenyatta media. If you're not under those category of businesses, I'm so sorry, you have to close.
Okay. And so a lot of people are actually trying to figure out a few things. Like, for example, they are trying to figure out between like whether because there are rumors that there are rumors and people are claiming that is it going to be unpaid leave? Is it going to be pay cut? Would there be any exemption? Is there any claims to this? Like, can you explain?
Technically speaking, from where we are coming from, it is a suspension of employment. Basically, your contract for employment is currently being suspended. So there's no work, no movement, no businesses. That being said, it means that there is no continuity of employment at this current, or is in abeyance. Technically speaking, your employer don't have to pay you during this entire period. I could argue that way because it has been suspended due to this pandemic. There's no movement of business. I cannot do business. You can't come to work. So where are we going to get the money from? Technically, there's no work. So by right, the company can just say that, I don't have to pay you.
So legally, that is the.
It's an argument. It's an argument that you could think about. But I think a lot of the companies currently are executing like advanced leave or taking whatever leave that they have first for the next couple of days, 12 days, or initiating a partial half pay, what's not. And I don't think it's wrong to do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So in terms of what are the rights for the employee in this situation?
Well, it is a very difficult time, not just for the people, and it's also for the businesses as well. Right now itself, because of COVID, last couple of months, I think a lot of businesses have been affected badly. It is a hard time. It requires a lot of give and take during this time between the employer and employee. I always get calls from employers saying that, employees just are being difficult, and then I get calls from employees saying that companies are being difficult. We are in a time where these are unpredictable times, and there is a social collective responsibility, right, required by everybody. It's not just me, you anymore, it's everybody now. If there is an infectious disease going on, and then we have a responsibility to ensure that the virus go down or peak, I hope it peaked and then go down so that we can sustain. At the rate we are going, we don't look like we're sustainable. We're not a sustainable country, we're not a sustainable economy. If this goes on, we will go bankrupt and we will lose everything.
Advice, right, for both employers and employees?
There are give and take procedures. I mean, under the labor law, we just need to know, first of all, you must know your employers, whether they are type that is reliable. Let me share with you a case where we have done before, where the company wanted to introduce pay cut because they couldn't sustain anymore. All right. And the company previously, what happened was, has sold the business to a separate entity, an international entity. However, the international entity couldn't manage it and resold back to the local owner. So, but the local owner bought it back with his own money because he didn't want to see the employee suffer or lose their job. So after trying to sustain for about a year, he couldn't take it and he wanted to initiate pay cut. And under the law, pay cut is actually illegal. You need consent. So we have gone in there and we were thinking of, trying to advise the employee to see from a management perspective that how this pay cut is crucial in order for them to stay afloat for a couple more years. It went on without any resistance at all. And so we got curious and we asked the employee, why do you sign the consent for pay cut? He said that because my boss is a good man and I believed him. Whatever he's doing, right, is for the better benefit of the company. So really, you must know your employer. There must be some trust level that if the company is going through a bad time, they're not going to lie to you and say, hey, we're going through a bad time, and then behind you, they bought a few bungalows or they go for a few holidays. If they're genuine about the business and your welfare, they are obviously going to be honest to you about bad times and see whether you all could just pull through the bad times by initiating pay cuts or lesser working hours and what's not. You mean these are things that has to be a genuine relationship between employer and employee.
Understood. And when we're sorry, and when we're also looking at what are the penalties that actually employers face if they actually violate this?
If I read the Act properly, Section 24 of the Preventive and Control of the Infectious Disease Act will tell you that if you're found guilty, it's 2 years imprisonment and fine for first offense or both. Subsequently is 5 years and fine or both. So I think along those lines. So if you're caught, breaching the order, or you're out gallivanting or try to go to Singapore, you might be caught and can be imprisoned. But there's no directive to say whether the company will be penalized. Currently, it's more of a like if you're gonna tangkap. So if you're gonna tangkap, that means it's very personal, right? So as an employee, you shouldn't be working during this RMO, right? Penalty for companies, it was not mentioned, honestly.
I see. And in terms of how do we deal with it? Because not some companies actually have already been practicing remote working, and I think a lot of companies are transitioning into remote working during this time. Mm-hmm. So what would your suggestion be?
Actually, it's highly encouraged. If you can work from home or work remotely using technology, come on, guys, you're on your app 8 hours a day. This shouldn't be hard. You shouldn't stop business. Business continuity should be a norm at this current point with the technology that we have. If you're not, then you got to subscribe. Business continuity in this time and age should not be an issue unless you are a traditional company who will have problem because you need physical manpower being at the workplace. Otherwise, service level communication, sales and marketing can be done remotely, can be executed remotely, and it's very highly encouraged as well.
Okay. And so the other thing, a lot of employers actually have some form of assumption there will be some kind of claim because like from I'm not sure in terms of because some of them mentioned in the forum where PM actually mentioned that it's
he did. We tried calling SOXO. They were shocked too. They were like, "There's no such thing as forced unpaid leave." They were like, "Apa tu?" And then we are also curious because there is no such thing as forced unpaid leave. As a matter of fact, it's illegal to use those two words in one sentences. How did that happen? And then we were like, "Oh, okay." So there is no provision for forced unpaid leave unless they're going to come up with a new order or a new ruling say that forced unpaid leave is allowed, and therefore the employee now can claim 600 ringgit for the next 6 months. But this RMO is only going to last you 12 days. How are you going to claim for 1 month worth of 600? Exactly. There's no information. We tried calling today. They are completely clueless. I'm like, kalau you tak tahu macam mana aku tahu. So we're just.
So what are the other stuff that there is still a lot of ambiguity about essentially at this point in time?
Actually, it's a interesting time that we are in now. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know whether there will be roadblocks, there'll be police on the road patrolling, checking on every buildings. What are the steps some of the companies have taken? I heard Mid Valley has issued that they're going to close because even though they have supermarkets, maybe it's not valuable for them to run the whole mall. So there are people taking drastic measures to really comply to RMO because they do not know the extent of penalty against the company, first and foremost. But against the people, it's going to be imprisonment. So how? And it's our duty to actually reduce the infection rate. So yeah, social distancing, guys. Don't hang out so much.
That's why we are actually looking at this remotely.
Yeah, I like this. The fact that it's remote. I don't have to see people. You guys can see me now, so it's okay.
Before we run out, any other things that we should actually be aware? As rights for as entrepreneurs, as employees, or even as a general citizen in terms of when we are moving forward. This is actually fairly new area for all of us. Actually,
it is. Honestly, it's new for me too. Today, I'm like struggling to answer questions that I don't even have. Right, so we are also unable to get through to the ministry to get more information, or whether, for example, companies that support essential services will be exempted. Questions like this were all over, and there was no answer. So we just went with a strict conservative practice. If you are not essential service, you have to go on leave. You have to close. Simple as that.
Okay, so one of our audience actually, Nicholas just mentioned there will be a statement from IGP at 5:30. I think we will still monitor that.
Yeah, there will be, should be. Be careful while traveling. You know that other things that they mentioned, not just in terms of employment, there will be a restriction on traveling as well. If you have employees who are expat, who are currently overseas, they are not allowed to come in unless they are in essential services, even though they have a long-term employment pass. That one is one. Malaysian who have gone overseas to work and now wants to come back, they can, but there will be the 14 days restriction, quarantine immediately at the airport. I don't know what they will do, but there will be a mandatory quarantine. For those expats who are leaving the country in the event that their visa expires during this RMO or any extended time, you may leave, but subject to your country preventive protocol. So if you have to go to a country where they also have to quarantine you, so be extra careful whether is it worth it for you to go back now. Questions like that, you all should be more vigilant about. What else? And don't hang out so much. Daniel, especially you, Daniel Lui.
Oh, the other Daniel. Yeah, Daniel and I were supposed to hang out this Friday.
Social distancing, guys. Social distancing. You're supposed to reduce infection rate.
No, but we are doing it virtually. The one more quick thing I just recall. So there's also a lot of companies and a lot of people who commute back and forth from Malaysia and Singapore. I understand that is also restricted already.
Yes, the immigration has also released a statement saying that Malaysia, they have already informed the border patrol there will be no movement from tomorrow onwards. Either if you're a Malaysian, you want to stay home. I think Singapore has issued an edict to say that they're giving you 2 weeks unpaid Malaysian. Don't worry, you can go home and tidur and then come back 2 weeks later, or stay in Singapore for the next 2 weeks. So the choice is yours. Tonight you have to decide. And I heard there's some massive traffic at the causeway because of this. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've been seeing photos. I've been seeing photos of that.
Yeah. So what's going on?
Oh, there's also one more question. Is there any? Some of them are asking, is there any work or home insurance that they could look into?
I don't know. You're talking about general insurance or what? Do I look like a sales agent to you? Sorry.
No.
I have no idea. Seriously, you have to ask the insurance lawyer, not me, or anybody who's insurance. Please give a. I have no idea whether there's such as home insurance or not. But technically speaking, if you're still under employment, if you are still being paid for work from home, your medical benefits should be still in existence. That means there's no, it's not being halted or of any sort.
Okay. So except for the work contract is being halted, the medical contract medical insurance contract, you still should be able to claim from the company.
If you're working from home, yes, that means you're still working. You're technically still in employment.
Okay. I see. Okay, understood. So unless if you're not working, then you cannot. I think this correct?
I would say so. It's arguable. It's very arguable, this one.
Okay. And so before we go, where can we find out more about what your organization and also LawTech Malaysia? We'll probably be touching base again for this to actually, if there's any further progress of things that happen.
Well, basically, the information we have is really on top. It's just on top of everything else. is not even enough to supplement questionnaires from all walks of industry. I've been getting a lot of calls from my client, and I'm very unfortunate. There are a lot that I couldn't answer because there's so little information that I have currently. But as far as we're concerned, tomorrow is D-Day. You have till 12 a.m., 11:59 p.m. to get everything sorted, to stay home, to stay safe, to stay clean, in order for us to get through this time. Because I think the problem in Malaysia is the infection rate is growing really fast, and we really need to bring it down to a point where it's safe. And once it's safe, then maybe the curfew will be lifted and we'll be able to do more. Someone sent a question. Should I answer this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Some people want to know if business premises cover private offices. Some companies are taking premises to mean their office that they are not open to public are exempted, even though they are not part. What? Just go with business lah. It's not the premise itself, it's the business. If you're not essential, you close. Whether it's your house, car, or what, don't do business. All right? That's the idea is strict rule. That's the reason why it's called preventive and control of infectious disease. Guys, it's infectious disease. Doesn't this scare you? I'm freaking out here. I'm totally hypochondriac. But yes, any businesses close, tutup pintu, except for sundries and whichever that's been exempted.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rachel. Thanks
Okay.
a lot. We will still be leaving the comments open. If there's any questions, feel free to just post in the comment. Rachel can answer. If any updates, we will probably be having another live stream soon. So Rachel, can people follow your firm or your social media for any updates?
I want to say no, but yeah, go ahead lah. I don't think it's mine. My one is a public page, but yeah, feel free to give me a
LawTech Malaysia.
Yeah, just join LawTech Malaysia. Come on, guys, join LawTech Malaysia. Join entrepreneur and startup. You will see more of me. I hope so. And if you want more information, you just drop me a line, email. I think Daniel Louis and Daniel here. Daniel could actually share my email if they want some private, some legal advice and what's not. So yeah, that's all I could say. It's not that I don't want to add people, but I only have 6 friends in my Facebook, so.
Thanks a lot for being part of this community, and thanks a lot for LawTech Malaysia for actually putting up together this very rapid Q&A in such a short time.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you both Daniels for giving me the opportunity to be online. Let me know if I can help you guys with more, but currently speaking, we just need to be prepared for the next 12 days. It's very fast, but what can you do in 12 days anyway? So just make sure you guys keep yourself safe and healthy. Yeah?
Yeah, it's not even 2 weeks actually. So.
Oh, it's not even 2 weeks.
Yeah, good to know. Thanks, I'll see you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.